Hello and welcome to Not Financial Advice. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. But I am going to show you what I am seeing in the charts and why I think MSTR is reaching a buying point, an oversold point. So I'm going to show you how I look at the charts, what two indicators that I use to give me confidence in my entries or my exits and everything. I'm not really typically a day trader. I like to swing trade. I day trade when I can, but I like to swing trade more so just by reading the charts and being a lot more patient. I feel it's a safer way to go about it. I do have long-term holds like SPY, QQQ, those type of things that I like to have for my long-term, but I like to play leverage funds like TQQQ, SOXL, those types, and I like to swing trade those. And MSTR is a really good stock to swing trade because it is super volatile, but you have to know when to get in and when to get out. And that's what I'm going to show you today. Again, this is not financial advice. This is not something, and I am not some financial advisor. Like I said, do your own research. I'm gonna show you the two indicators that I use to make a good, solid decision that has worked for me time and time again. And again, if you're wrong on a swing trade, then all you got to do is wait. As long as you got in at a really good low point in a stock, as long as you know it's got strong momentum in both directions almost all the time, which MSTR does. Even in this long downtrend, we still got money to be made even from here to here. Folks, that's a $5 difference right there. So if you buy 100 shares, you're making $500 from here to here. So yes, you need, $16,000 worth of, either leverage or in your fund to make that kind of money in that short of distance. But getting sidetracked. Is Bitcoin looking like a really good entry point right now? And I'm saying yes and no. And I know that's going to be frustrating for a lot of you that are watching MSTR just fall and fall and fall. I mean, right here, we didn't see very many green candles try to bring it back up, and it just keeps falling and falling and falling. But the reason why I'm starting to really look at it and why I'm backing off from shorting this stock now is because of these two indicators. The 21 EMA. All right, we're looking at the daily chart right now, and I want you to be paying attention as you're following along with me, the 21-day EMA, and I have it set, and if you're on TradingView, which most people know about this, is a pretty awesome trading platform here, you want to have your time frame set to chart. That way, it doesn't matter what chart you are, the 21 EMA will follow that chart, whether you're on the daily, the weekly, the monthly, whatever. So right now, I'm looking at it like if you were day trading, obviously you're going to look at the daily chart. Okay, it looks like the RSI is pushing up. Today, it looks like it's going to be a green day. The green candle probably will close higher than it opened. So that'll make it a green candle. But yeah, and it is below the 21 EMA. And the RSI is in the 40s. So I like to make, if it was above 50, then I say, yeah, we're green and we're going higher today. It's pointing up, meaning it has moved, or it's heading in the upward direction. But this is not the chart that I would look at for a solid entry. Now, I have made an entry. I got in at $157. I bought 10 shares just to see what happens. I might scalp and sell the whole thing if it gets up to 180. But if it looks like it's going to keep ripping farther, I'm going to kick myself because I wish I would have bought more. But I also will ride it out and see what happens. Let's push to the weekly. This is going to give you a better idea of where we are in this cycle. Now, back in the day, everybody was saying that this is going to be the support. If we break this 270 support level, then it's just going to keep falling, and they were right. So the only next level of support, which we are actually hitting it right here, we have to go lower. I say MSTR has to get below. If it starts getting below 120 and this RSI is, in the teens, starting to point up, I say, okay, now we're solid. Now we have a ton of oversold territory. All this has been oversold. We're getting super close to it. I think we have a little bit of a leg up here. And again, this is financial advice. Do your own research. Just go, leave me a comment. What do you think? Do you think we are reaching critical oversold territory, or do you think we still have, a false breakout or two to go, and then we keep going lower and then up. And here's my thing. If you bump out now to the monthly, we still are in a heavy downtrend. There is no sign of this coming back up right now. And again, monthly charts are going to respond way slower than your weekly and a daily, obviously. But it looks like it is starting to turn a corner here. The RSI looks like it's starting to turn, but it is in the 40s, so I think we can still go lower. Although RSI, well, yeah, way over here doesn't really count as it was so flat, and this move up had a lot to do with where the RSI and the EMA is right now, obviously. So if we pump out to the 3-month, this is a strong red candle, and we are at the bottom of that red candle. So, the 21 EMA is sitting at around 154, which is actually pretty decent. If we go out to the 6-month, where is that RSI? 106. So, if we break down below into the low 100s, then I think it's off to the races, because that RSI is still pointing down at the 57. We're above it, which means, we still have not entered severe danger zone, in my opinion. Again, this is 6-month chart, and MSTR is, it really hasn't been out long enough, and to go off the 6 months. So let's go 3-month. Yeah, we're critical here. I think we're still going to see lower, in my opinion. It could come back down. Could it go to the 40s? Probably. I don't know. I just don't see that happening for this year. I think this year, let's go 12 months just to see what happened. Yeah, I think we can still see one in the low 100s, but I also believe it's going to have to do a lot with, let's go back to the weekly. Let's do the same thing with Bitcoin, because now that I think it's tracking Bitcoin a lot more so now than ever before, because of, I think the price had to fall for MSTR for it to get back and connected with Bitcoin, if that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. To me, it does. I think the price now is, because of they're buying Bitcoin every day. And I think when Bitcoin fell and he was still buying it, Michael Saylor was still buying it, that increased the value. Once Bitcoin takes off, I think MSTR value is going to skyrocket, and people are going to notice that. And then that's when people are going to start buying MSTR. So daily chart, Bitcoin's in a downtrend. It's going to break under 90,000 here probably. 89.8 is the EMA for Bitcoin right now on the daily. What is it on the weekly? It's way below. So again, on the weekly, it looks like we have strong upward momentum for the week, because it started out the week at under 90 and we're up at 91. Although it is pulling back down, it's getting closer to the middle of that green candle. Let's go out to the monthly. We're still above the 21 EMA, which is good. And so we are still in bullish territory here with Bitcoin. So we had a nice sell-off here, and I think we rally higher. I think this is, again, my opinion, you're going to see probably another pullback below 90, 91, and then we move higher, which is going to push MSTR higher. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think by looking at the charts. Those are the two indicators. I just watched the RSI and I watched the EMA, and that's when I decide. If the RSI looks like it's moving back up and we got a trend reversal, and again, this crossover, when the true RSI crosses over the base ISI, I believe that's when things start moving up. But I believe we're in definitely bullish territory once we break that 50, the 50 RSI. And again, we got to get back up to that 230. So a lot of people are thinking, MSTR is going to go to 4,000. So if you're scared, wait till MSTR breaks that 21 EMA on the weekly. And then you're probably good to go. And that's the other thing too, is MSTR has a lot of times when it runs up fast, it gets another sell-off. So if you miss it, just wait. It could come back down. But if you we're over here like it was in early 2024, in September, in September of 2024 when it ran up so nicely there. Yes, nobody saw that coming where it plummeted. But, I've been in Misty and I trade MSTX and all that stuff, and now I've got out of Misty, and I'm just going to stick here and watch MSTR because I think either if you like to swing trade, this is a really good stock to do it. And I think we're getting close to an entry where you can start buying and holding this and making a lot of money. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.